Welcome back to the Pick Six Podcast here at the Fountains from the Bellagio. That's Las Vegas, Breach. What do you think?
I think I might jump in the fountains. We're all done here. Is that legal?
It got cold quick out here.
Yeah, don't jump in the fountains. That's a substantial fine, I've been told. So stay out of the fountains. Enjoy the beautiful scenic of Las Vegas. But that brings us to Answering the Bell, presented by Ring, as we dive into the Pick Six Awards. So what does that mean? Brinson, you had the first category of teams and players that answered the bell. I tried to spoil it earlier in the show.
Sure did.
Let's get to some revenge game topics as I sort of spoil it for you there.
So, producer Debo and I, as we do before every podcast for all 2,200 episodes that he produced. That's actually, I think it's 2,200 episodes.
Jeez.
Debo did the math and technically he listened to me talk for what amounts to a full
Does Debo get hazard
consecutive
pay?
year.
How does that work?
So what's that? No, he gets hazard pay. So Debo and I were talking about this on the phone as we were in our pre-pro meeting. Revenge game, the revenge game of the year. Now we're including the playoffs, so yes, we could say that Jared Goff getting his revenge against Matthew Stafford could be the #1 revenge game. That would be my honorable mention, though, and I think we got to go to the regular season. And I get a little revenge on Debo, who left the pod because he was so successful. He got a promotion by naming the Eagles the loser of the revenge game, courtesy of another Debo Samuel, who made it a point to let everybody know the 49ers wanted revenge against the Eagles, and they went out and got it with a butt kicking in Philadelphia. And Lane Johnson, Breach, what did he even say on Radio Row about this?
That the 49ers broke the Eagles.
They broke the Eagles. They ruined the Eagles' season. The Eagles were trending towards a possible return to the Super Bowl, and the 49ers, who are in the Super Bowl, broke the Eagles. Debo destroys Debo, revenge game of the year.
Debo on Debo crime.
And that was, of course, revenge game for last year's NFC Championship.
Yeah, of course, yes.
All right, Breach, you are a special teams correspondent here at the Pick Six Podcast, so it is no surprise that your awards section here is special teams oriented. What are you doing?
This is most outstanding performance by a kicker, which is what everybody was dying to find out who was going to win this award. We have
The moment is here.
4 nominees. Number 1, Jake Elliott, 59-yard field goal in the rain to send the game against the Bills into overtime, a game that the Eagles eventually won. Number 2, Brandon Aubrey, going perfect for almost the entire season until he missed 2 kicks in 1 game. Jason Sanders, Dolphins kicker, 5 field goals against the Cowboys, including a game winner. And number 4, our boy, Dare Ogunbowale. I knew I was going to mess that up.
Yep, there you go.
Kicks a field goal. He's a running back. He kicked a field goal for the Texans.
Awesome.
That was one of the coolest moments of the year. Wilson, the winner here, Brandon Aubrey. For a guy to come in, be a first-year kicker, really a rookie, but I don't think the NFL classifies him as one because he had some pro experience before. MLS, played soccer in college, and he shows up to Cowboys camp, dominates the game, sets the NFL record for longest field goal ever in a first quarter when he hit a 60-yarder. I mean, his year was nuts. One of the best kicking seasons in NFL history by anyone, let alone a first-year kicker. So, Brandon Aubrey, you get the pick 6E.
Well done. All right, I'm going to go with what we have titled the best full name performance by a quarterback, and that came about because when Geno Smith had his breakout season in 2022, I looked up his name, and it happened to be Eugene Cyril Smith III, and we sort of ran with that. Ironically, Eugene Cyril Smith III is not on the list here, but that's okay. He is the award's named after him, so we'll go with that. Let's start with Andrew Stephen Locke, who took over for Eugene Cyril Smith III and powered that Seahawks win against Debo's hapless Eagles. That was the thing that actually happened in real life. Coleridge Bernard Stroud IV, we've talked about C.J. Stroud, of course. He arrives throwing for 470 yards, 5 touchdowns against Tampa Bay in a shootout. And the funny thing about C.J.'s full name is, we were talking to Will Anderson on the Draft Podcast back in the fall, and he's like, Coleridge? I had no idea that was his name. He looks like a Coleridge, like he's running a law firm. And finally, Breach, you had trouble with Dare's name. I have to say Tua's full name here. Tuaninga Mane Olepola. Not even close. Donnie is his middle name, which is awesome. Tagovailoa. So Tua went off, dropping 70 that day against the Broncos in a hapless effort by that Denver team. They bounced back later. And, of course, Lamar Demetrius Jackson Jr. throws for 5 touchdowns against that Dolphins team later in the season for first place in the AFC. But, boys, I'm going with one of the best players in the NFL, a top 5 quarterback already, Coleridge Bernard Stroud IV.
Speaking of that 70-point game, by the way, do you know what Russell Wilson's full name is?
No, I don't.
Russell Stover Wilson.
Russell Carrington Wilson.
Oh, okay. He looks like a Carrington.
He looks like a Carrington.
See that? Carrington and Coleridge
acts
hanging
like
out.
a Carrington too.
Well, we'll see. There were some conversations that
respect.
he'll be back in Denver, and that team will potentially be better. So we'll see. All right, that's it for the awards here. Revenge game, kickers, of course, and the Eugene Cyril Smith Award. Shout out to Gino. All right, we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back here, we're going to do a little Pick Six recap of the silly and stupid things we were talking about earlier in the season and whether those things came true or probably not coming true. But we'll talk about that right after this from Las Vegas.